Hi, everybody. Welcome to our statewide staff meeting. We're excited to have you here. Uh, I lost the agenda. Oh, thanks, Amalia. um, we're just going to follow the agenda, and Casey, you're our first person on the list.
Okay, great. Thank you. Morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I just have a couple of updates. First, I've gotten a lot of questions about how to count virtual education. So whether it's counted as an indirect activity or a program activity in pairs. So I just wanted to clarify what the distinction is. And primarily the distinction is any classes where you teach an audience where you can reasonably estimate the number of people you've reached, that's going to be counted as a program activity. So even if there is not a survey involved, like in some of our youth programming, if you cannot estimate how many people you've reached, so for example, if you do like a Facebook Live class where the only number you really have is the impressions or the views from Facebook, which includes someone just scrolling right by your video, that's when it becomes an indirect activity, when we can't reasonably say we reached 10 people with the vast majority of that class that I just taught. So one thing that comes up are those Facebook Lives. That's for adult classes. So that's why we do the surveys. So if you do a Facebook Live class and you get survey responses back, then you can count that as a program. Filled out the survey as those truly reached by the education. But I've had some people teaching like a Zoom class to youth in different settings. They could see that there were 6 kids in that class. So even though there's not a survey attached to that, you still know how many kids attended, so you can record that as a program activity. So really the main distinction, surveys come into play, but it's not whether or not a survey was completed. It's whether or not you can know how many people you reached with that whole class. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, if you do, I'm happy to walk you through it. Just send me an email. I've been, looking through pairs and seeing some that I think should be moved one way or the other, and I'll just reach out to you and let you know. But if you have a question, just let me know. And then my other update is a couple of weeks ago, we told supervisors and then sent out emails and mentioned it on the training last week that food demonstrations and sampling can now be approved through your templates. There's some new templates that have that updated information in them that will get up to the staff website in the next day or two. So you can utilize those, and in that section F, the food section of those templates, it says basically what our protocols are. So you can adjust them a little bit, but really please leave those intact the way that they're written. It just specifically says, gloves and face masks and appropriate ways to distribute the food to people and discarding leftovers. So those are the protocols that we would like to see you follow. If you have a program activity that's already gone through the approval process, but you would like to now start doing food demonstrations, just let me know. And Extension has said we can just plug those, the text from the new templates that describe how you're going to be doing food samples into your old forms. So you don't have to do forms again. You just need to reach out to me to let me know that you want to add food demos to those already approved activities. One other quick thing I wanted to mention is the templates. You'll see the templates on the website that are partially completed. There's one for adult programming, and then there's one specifically for youth in schools. Now you can request approval to do youth beyond schools. I could just, if I wanted to do a general template, that was the setting that I could do it in. So you can still use that template for youth programming in other settings, but just go through it really thoroughly and make sure you just change any of the content that's specific to schools to reflect where you're going to be teaching your program activity. So again, just use the youth in schools, but just adjust it as needed to do an after school program or Boys and Girls Club or some other setting.
Thanks, Casey. I also want to just make sure everybody, we have to get back to programming. We need to start working the hours that we are allocated. In your performance appraisals, it asked if you are willing to do that, and I haven't reviewed all of them. I have reviewed some that were questionable, but we just have to keep progressing to have the work happen to to be able to make a difference. We need to get back to programming, and there are a variety of ways to do that. We have sent out lists of how to do it during COVID, and now we're opening up a little bit here and there. So you can do the direct adult ed, as was mentioned. They do need to get approval, and it's very easy to do to get approval. It's Casey's explained the majority of it. What you're putting in is exactly where you're going to be and how you're going to do your programming. So it's very, very simple, and same with the youth. And so encourage you to do that. The reason why we have to do those forms is because that's a university requirement, that the COVID mitigation forms have to be done, or else we'd probably just say go do work. But that's how the university is also showing that they're being respectful, they're meeting the needs and the requirements for COVID, and that's important for us to do as well. So once again, if you're questioning whether you want to get back up to your full hours, please reach out to me. We need to have a discussion on that, because we have to start working. We have to do our we have to get back to work. We have to do our programming, and we need to make a difference in our communities. So once again, please reach out to me. All right, Lacey.
Hi, thanks. So I just wanted to announce that we are going to adopt a new pantry assessment tool, and I'm going to record a training this week, and it'll definitely be posted before Monday. I'll send an email to let you know about it, and then you'll have until the third Monday to watch it and send me any questions that you have, or bring with you the questions that you may have during our staff meeting for the third Monday this month. And then also in May, we will be launching a physical activity focused social marketing campaign. So I guess this is just another kind of pre-announcement to just let you all know that that's coming up, and that we will have trainings that will help you know how you can be involved in the campaign this year.
And I'm going to jump in there real quick and just talk about what we can do physically with physical activity. And at this point in time, we keep our recommendations very generic, and what we're trying to do and what our dietary guidelines for Americans are telling us to do is to move more. And so that is our message out. Lacey's will supplement that and be a great resource for everyone, but I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that is what is in the grant, and that is what we're asked to do. Other places have more physical activity. People can Google and find free resources all the time to increase their physical activity, but within SNAP Ed in Utah at this time, we're encouraging people to move more. All right, Christy.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be sending out a homework assignment after our region training. So just to be aware of that and watch for that in your email. And then one thing that I've been waiting for months and months to have a meeting so that we could share this out is that we asked that we do a Kahoot account so that they could use Kahoot for their teaching their youth and their classes. And so we did do that. So I do have Kahoot login information if you want to do that. It's not something that we want to put on the website. So if you are interested in doing a Kahoot and want to access our account, please reach out to me and we'll get you the login and password.
Thanks, Christy. All right, Jocelyn.
Easier. So I want to show you where they are. They're under the recruiting and marketing. And then it's again with recruiting and marketing. And they'll be right here. There's newsletter templates and there's young and adult. And I've got them in 2 columns. This looks like it's not loading, but that's because that is actually blank space. But these are adult newsletters in this column, and these are youth newsletters on this column. They've been designed by USU Extension marketing team, specifically Olivia, so you know they're beautiful. But what you can do is you can look at these. This is sort of a thumbnail picture of what's available. This one has tons of white space. It's got the exercising, This one has a lot more template elements for you to fill in. And same with the kids one over here. This has more childlike pictures. But what you get here is they're slightly different. They have a little bit different colorings, but if you have a layout that you're interested in using, pick it and stick with it. They're only slightly different, but you might find that there's just tips and tricks that work well for you. So what you'll do is you'll pick one if you're doing this in your county. If it's for children or youth or a library or a youth resource, I would look in this column. These are very cute. If it's for adults, I'd pick over here, and you'll notice this is our branding, our coloring. It's got the look, they have the logos. So once you do that, I've already downloaded one just to save time. So I'm going to show you. The one I pulled up was an adult one. I'm going to show you just how easy it should be to work with. So what you have here, it's in PowerPoint, and everybody has access to the PowerPoint software. So once you get in here, you would, have your name. This is the, Keystone. Well, I keep it like she has it. Newsletter or whatever you're going to have. You put your name here. Again, don't forget to catch these little details. If you do it monthly, then let's make sure you have the month and the year. If you're not counting issues, that's okay. You can delete that and remove it. And then here, newsletter, subtitle goes here. That might be March is nutrition month, or it might be connected to a lesson that you just taught. Create better health, physical activity and cardio health, or whatever title you want to type here. But you would want to, also we avoid doing CBH. We use that language a lot internally, but spell it out. That sort of messaging both is a call to action, as Heidi has pointed out, and it's also important that you spell it out rather than CBH, because somebody may not know exactly what that is. So you put your create better health and then what your topic is here. So then you have these options. If you want to do some little messaging, and you can pull these pictures out and put something different in, you can type in here, make sure that you pull this out if you don't use it. If you want this to be a little longer, you can always pull these down. Like you can manipulate these things. Like say I want to not have this. Whoops, it didn't do the whole thing. And I'm manipulating the parts of this that are allowed to be manipulated, but then this one can be a little bigger. Let's say I want to write a little more. So I'm going to say this message is going to go a lot longer. This is a review, I'm still on tabs, of our lesson last week. And you can keep adding here if that's what you want to do. The places that you cannot manipulate, I'm going to go on to page 2 here, are these things. I mean, you physically can manipulate them. I'm begging you not to. This is our disclaimers, our SNAP-Ed funding statement. This is our logo, and our Create Better Health logo is up at the top here. So this page has got it here. So we're good there with the logos, the disclaimers. And then what you have a choice here, if you want to do a recipe, or maybe you want to do a physical fitness tip, maybe you'll do like this month's, well, I'd give it a name. We'll do like lasagna. That's the one I pulled up. Light lasagna. Recipe of the month. You have the option of literally typing in the details here, or what I have, you all have access to all of our recipes. And so you might say, I'm going to just use one of the recipes that we have already made. So you can pull up a together that you pulled up. It's probably going to be here. Whoops. I'm going to make that smaller so it fits in there. And then you have that for your participants. So you can play around with this. Actually, I'd make it a little bigger, but make this recipe, and then every month have your little recipe of the month, or your physical fitness tip of the month, or whatever. But you can maneuver this to be how you want. Originally that said insert recipe here, but you can do whatever you want there. If you want to have a tip every month, a wellness tip or a physical fitness, something out of our curriculum. And then again, don't forget these things. If you're not in the office right now much with extension, you can just remove that. Or if you have a way to reach you, and then if you have your email, you could just preferably not make typos. And then you can either put your Facebook page or your Instagram or our, I would love it if you put our page, but whatever you want to do to make this and then consistent, be consistent. So whatever you put down here, make sure every month that's the same so they're not confused by who's sending this out. But anyway, so this is upcoming classes in your area, county announcements, things that you want them to know. Back up to the first page. All right, so are there any questions about that?
So Jocelyn, I saw the QR code at the bottom.
Yes.
Can we manipulate that and put the QR code for our specific county, or do you want that there as well?
If you have created one for your county, yeah, you can definitely put yours in there. You can put that in there. You can delete that and put your own little Q code in there. So that's a great idea. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. I just need you to make sure that there's the disclaimers and both of ours, and that they're not manipulated, like shrunk really, really small or blown up really big. They're very in relation to the rest of the document. But yeah, if you want to manipulate that, if you want to change, if you don't have, if this particular newsletter is for kids, it has follow us with the Captain Create and the Captain Create detail. But yeah, these are adjusted according to those. Hopefully this has the needs for what you want. If there's something missing, you can reach out to me and we can create you a template that'll have something specific. If there's something very detailed that your county needs. But yeah, but that's a good question. You're welcome to add a different QR code on there.
Jocelyn, this is
Yeah.
Laurie Bates. I have a question.
Okay.
You know the little Captain Create that's on the youth one? On the recipe sheets and that, can you make him go up and down, and would that be acceptable?
Are you saying if you're on one of these, can you move the recipe like to the front or the back page?
No, you know the little Captain Create on the left side of the youth?
I think she wants to move the Captain Create
The
guy.
little guy, that little guy. Keep going down, Jocelyn.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, here.
Yeah. And so let's say you have more information and you need to make him bigger. Or you have,
Oh, okay. So you're asking if you can shrink or, yes, you can manipulate him. Yes. Is that what you mean?
yeah, because I've done it sometimes on the recipe things.
Okay.
Not
Thank
to
you.
with that. Uh-oh.
Yes. Nope. You can change him. He's not our official logo. He's an accent. He's an addition. So yes, he is eligible for a little bit of manipulation. If you have maybe this message is going to be really small, you can make him a big part of this if you want. That's yes, for sure.
And my
Yes.
second question is, oh, I almost forgot it. I thought, what was I asking? You know, the little QDR thing, that little box thing.
Uh-huh.
How can we learn how to do those?
Yes, maybe that's something. Yeah, that's a great idea. So we have an account, and I will work with Ashley. She's our guru on creating QR codes, and they've been really helpful. And I will talk with her and either have instructions for you, or maybe we will make them. It's nice to have a little image in the middle, and I'd sort of like to have control over that. So make sure it says your county so there's no confusion. And I'll need to talk to Heidi. There's probably unforeseen consequences of having 26 QR codes floating around. But if we have a visual image of which QR code it is, I think we'll be okay. So let me get back to you on that and get either instructions or a procedure to get your own QR code.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. So the last thing is, I'll just tell you, I am going to create, I've already created these tips for you, and I will send them out with the scoop notes, but I have typed up in a very boring but effective way the tips that we just talked about, things that say, use color to attract the eye, but don't overdo it. Information how to contact you. Don't use lots of fonts. White space is your friend. These kind of details that are just tips to make sure your newsletter looks professional. When they open it, they know it's from a legitimate organization and that your consistency is part of your plan. And then I will also send out instructions that tell you how to report these in pairs. So we're going to have you put them in pairs, because a lot of people are sending these out each month or every quarter or after every lesson or to schools. And so we want to make sure that we capture that in pairs. So I will send these details and I'll post them on the website. I'll also create a little mini training to talk through them. And then above all, just remember that you can talk to me, you can ask me, and I will be happy to talk through it with you. Okay. And I'm super excited that I've seen some people have already started doing newsletters and they look really, really good. As something of a control freak, I was a little nervous letting that loose, but everything I've seen has been amazing. Your messages are great. You have such a good rapport with your audiences that I think this will be a really fun additional way to get the word out, get education out, to inform, and to recruit for your live classes. If they've received a newsletter from you, it's possible when they find out there's a live class, they'll be more likely to show up. And so I think that's all I have. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help. So thank you and good luck.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Also, I wanted to emphasize the importance of you sharing your classes through your newsletters. I believe, and Jocelyn, correct me if I'm wrong, and for the future is through the counties you share your classes. They don't go out to the newsletter list because we just didn't get enough of your stuff in the Google Calendar. But that doesn't mean you can skip the Google Calendar. That is a major important piece of our role, because Paul with DWS uses the Google Calendar to share to the DWS offices, just like I mentioned the other day. And they also can advertise for your classes. So they want actually 3 months worth. So if you can plan ahead for 3 months worth of places you'll be, and I'd put in your PSE efforts. If you're going to be online, do all your planning there so that you're able to make things happen, and we're able to share that with him. And then you can share it in your newsletter. So that's another just additional piece that will help you be organized. So thank you for doing that, and we're excited for these newsletters. And Marcia, you had an agenda item.
Yeah, thanks. Just a reminder about the Employee Wellness Program. So it's the beginning of March. So I sent out and posted on our Ambassador Facebook page about our March challenge. And it is National Nutrition Month. So we all teach about this. So it's an awesome opportunity for you to work on a nutrition related goal. And if you can, I want you to download the Start Smart app from My Plate and work through that. Kind of look at it as an opportunity to learn about the app. So maybe you can share it with your participants as well and just create a goal for you this month. Also, as far as February goes, I will give you till the end of the week to post your cardio pictures. It's been fun to look through them this morning. So keep posting if you did it to be entered into the February drawing, and I'll plan on doing that during our next statewide staff meeting. And I know Amalia sent this reminder out in just the agenda as she sent it out, but just a reminder as we're doing county sharing today, we really don't want to hear your whole calendar of what you're planning on doing this month. But if you can find something that you're proud of that's been effective in your community, and maybe just share one highlight, that'll help this meeting not go quite so long and let everybody have the opportunity to share as well. So that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcia. Yeah, your calendar items go into Google Calendar, and this is a highlight of the good work that you're doing. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Hiram.
All right. Can I share my screen? I don't know if okay. So first, back in December, I said that Captain Create, there'd be an opportunity for ambassadors to help with Captain Create. And then due to all the things that have happened and all the holidays on Monday, we weren't able to have the meeting until today. So I hope that in that time that I asked you to have that thinking cap on and writing down a list of ideas, it will finally you'll have an opportunity to put those things into action. So on the handy dandy extension staff menu, under social media, there have been 2 new documents uploaded. And I've already clicked on them, but they're here. Captain Create script template and Captain Create video template. So you ambassadors, well, I've written up a way that you can help participate in the Captain Create videos because there are so many parts to it. One of them is helping with writing scripts. So I'm going to open up this document here. I'm going to open up the other document here. Um, and so here is the script writing template. Now, I'm not going to take this time during this meeting to read through all of these notes, but I do want to say that this is the first time that I've written something like this with instructions and tips and such. So it's very likely that I mess something up or there's something missing or something needs to be changed. So if you see that you have a question, please, please, please email me. But essentially, if you, this first page has instructions, and then I'll just read like this: review your script after you've written it. And then I've listed some different kinds of questions that I consider when I'm writing the scripts for Captain Create. So this just has kind of basic instructions. And then the second page has a template, second and third pages. And so here, if you were interested in writing a script for a Captain Create video, you could write the topic. In the instructions above, I kind of listed some general topic categories, and that's what this would be. So if you've been to the YouTube Facebook page, you see, or the Captain Create page, there are actually categories for each video, like food highlights, fun with food, recipes. I want you to choose a category that fits within one of those. And that's just kind of make sure that the feel of Captain Create stays the same. For example, if you decide to do a video that's completely different from one of those categories, I might not have a place to put it yet. But that doesn't mean that I don't want a script for it. So if you're still interested in some of those ideas, please feel free to reach out to me about that. And then a suggested title. There are notes with that. And then the script. And so the script, it says, I always start it with a hello, fancy friends, or whatever, right? And I usually use an alliteration. So I kind of put those there for you if you want to plug those in for me. If not, I can come up with it myself. And then that's just an idea. And then you would write notes. Like, let's say, for example, that I was doing a script, I don't know, on protein, okay? And you might say something like, wear muscle suit. Or you might say, use echoey voice. Or something like, I want those very specific notes so I know what it is that you're envisioning when I do this video. So anyway, you have this opportunity to help me write scripts, and I think that will be I'm so excited to hear, because I'm one person with one brain, with one a one-track mind of how I've thought up for this video, and to get other input would be so wonderful. And it would help add, I think, to the creativity of the page. So here's the template. Be sure you read through the instructions as I've shown you here, because it's a great, hopefully they'll be helpful tips. And then the second is this second one that's on the page. Let me show you here. So the Captain Create video template, actually for helping to create recipe videos. And this is one where you would be recorded yourself. So the way that I've envisioned this is I would do an intro and a conclusion and maybe some voiceovers in the middle. And then you would actually record yourself making this recipe, whether it's just your hands or you could talk to the camera like I do in my videos. And then I could add that video to our page. And so again, there are lots and lots of things that I've learned as I've been creating the videos, multiple takes, multiple angles, making sure that your phone is horizontal and not vertical. These types of things are super helpful. And I've put those notes in here again. So the first page just kind of shows you, or I've given a lot of instruction and tips if you're interested in making a recipe video and having it added to the YouTube page. And then I've written also I made another table that would act as a script template. So again, putting notes and things, and these are maybe more for you. So you can remember like, oh, when I say that, I'm gonna wink. I can't tell you how many times I record when I've done a scene like 8 times over because I'm like, oh, I forgot to do this and I forgot to do that. So having these notes really helps make your video more engaging for youth. And then let's see, I've kind of put in some ideas here that could be helpful in my part if you know what you want me to say. So both templates. Very rarely have I done a video with more than 20 scenes. This might be kind of fun for you guys. If you want to just like go and watch a YouTube video and count the number of scenes, you might see that there are less than 20, unless you're counting like the cartoon scenes. I don't really add those in the script. But anyway, so these are 2 new options for you. Again, they're located under the social media tab at the bottom of the staff menu folders. So if you're interested, look at those instructions, write up a script, send it to me, or if you have questions, send those to me as well. And that's all I have to share.
Thanks, Hiram. Amalia, will you pull up the agenda again, and we'll go through the county sharing. And once again, we just want you to highlight one, most likely one of your great programming efforts that you're doing. And so we'll just go down the list, and we'll start with Beaver.
Hi, if I can get my video. Maybe my video doesn't like me. So, and my house is a disaster. We just got back from vacation. But so my highlights for the month, I was able to get into, sorry, I'm out of breath, quite a few classes. And my highlight was I would see kids in the store, because I do the thumbs up in the store, and they would actually comment on like what they learned in class. And I taught most of my kids in class too. And it was amazing how much the kids actually retain. And every time I'd go back in class, how much they would retain. So that was my highlight for the month, that I'm like, I'm actually teaching these kids something. So that was exciting. So.
That is awesome. Thank you. And it looked like your trip was fun. Bucks Elder.
Good morning. Yep, so social media stuff is awesome. The highlight that I thought of was we are waiting on approval to get back into Independent Life Skills Center. They want us to teach at least a couple more classes before their school year ends, and that's where it's a school for adults with disabilities. So we get to teach a couple classes in there starting this month. So we are super excited to be able to get back in person.
Awesome. Thank you. Cash?
Okay, I don't see any of my ambassadors, so I'll just say a quick highlight from them. A couple of them are teaching in the schools. They're starting this month after school programs. They're teaching the Create Better Health in the elementary schools, and they're super excited to be doing that.
Thank you. Davis?
Okay, I'll share a highlight. This is something I'm actually going to brag about Rachel for a minute. So Rachel last year created a relationship with our local, what do you call it, like alternative high school. They have a young parenting group, so teen girls who are currently pregnant or have recently had a baby. And she had created a relationship with them after deciding we wanted to teach more places after our last annual conference in person. But right in the middle of our series, everything got shut down and we didn't find a good way to teach to them online during that time. So she's been trying since December to set up a class with them. And that teacher, let me hide in my bathroom for a second. Just a minute, I'm on a meeting. That teacher wasn't super thrilled about the idea of online stuff. She wanted more in person. So because we just got approved for some in-person stuff, Rachel got in-person going, and she is going to jump back in right where we left off with in-person classes when everything ended a year ago. So I thought that was exciting. She's jumping back in with that relationship we had built.
Awesome. Thank you, Amberly. That's important work that has happened over time, and we appreciate that. Duchesne.
So we've continued our partnership with the Pain and Horse Diabetes Prevention Program. And in this last month, we sent out applications and plant lists to new participants that wanted to be part of our program. And we have gathered 30 new garden boxes. So with the ones out in the community already and the ones to be placed hopefully in April, we'll have about 93 boxes out on the Ute Tribe reservation.
That's exciting. Can't wait to see pictures and pounds and all that. So good job. Emery.
About what she's been doing. Mostly what we've got are handouts and newsletters that have gone to everywhere. We have been putting them in all the libraries, in Head Start, in the food bank, everywhere we can think of, and we have been able to reach a lot of people, a lot more. That's probably the biggest highlight, is that we were able to reach more people with all the information that goes out with the newsletters.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for that. All right, Garfield.
We have been working with Farmers Feeding Utah. We just finished a program, or with Farm Bureau, sorry, doing a virtual family meals group. And then this month I'm starting to teach at the elementaries, our after school programs with the food fun and reading program.
Awesome. And we should get you guys on the schedule to share your programming and stuff with the family meals. They took other ideas as well as the Create Family Meals program and added in agriculture pieces. So that'll be a great resource for us to use throughout the state. Also, and Jill, I don't know if you have knowledge or when those grants will be available, but Farm Bureau has grants available for like 16 counties to apply for to do some of this work. So that will be something to pay attention to.
I know we used the grant. I don't know when it's available for sure, but
okay.
We used it, so.
Yeah, awesome. And I'll look into deadlines and stuff for that as well. So great partnership. Iron County.
So lately, me and Morgan have been going into the elementary schools and teaching first and second grade classes with the Captain Create curriculum. We've also been doing the after school programs in certain elementary schools. And just a little highlight, I was able to go into the Care and Share and see some potential working with them. They are very interested in some like healthy boxes since they're not allowing people to go in. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Laurie, Juab.
Hi, yes, good morning. I am living proof that you can do hard things. I am doing a 4-H after school cooking class with 5 youth. And this is my very first one, and it's scary at first, but exciting and fun. I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that I learned to do it. And is it the same? No, but it's still fun. So that's something new I did. I've done 2 classes, so it's kind of fun.
Awesome, Laurie. Also, if you guys haven't recognized her supervisor, Tasha now has a different last name. So we have Tasha Howard.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tasha. Kane County.
All right, so a highlight in Kane County. I just recently finished a PSC project I've been working on for several months. I created a healthy checkout lane at one of our local grocery stores, and they have like healthy food options instead of candy bars and sodas. There's like juices and produce and like healthier choices. And Lacey and I collaborated with the store owner to create a sign that hangs above the aisle and it has our logo, and it was quite a process to get it to fit all the criteria that she needed and to still fit all of our information and everything, but it turned out awesome, and the store owner is so happy. She's done several advertisements on Facebook, and she's planning to do a newspaper article advertising it to all of our county, which is really cool. And it was a really fun project to work on, and I'm hoping to get to our other two whole other grocery stores in our county. So that's a great potential, and I think it was a really fun and successful project.
Thanks, Brittany. I had a friend who was down there in your county and saw it and took a picture and sent it to me in a text, and it was exciting to see. It was very similar to the same pictures you sent to us, but fun to see from someone outside of Create Better Health. So great work. Millard County.
I've been working a lot in the schools teaching and just teaching Captain Create and Food, Fun, and Reading. And I did get a phone call about a week ago from one of our previous special needs class students, and she actually called me up to thank me for teaching her how to cook. So that was pretty neat, and she told me all about what she had made, and so I put that as a success story, but I thought that was pretty neat since we haven't had classes in over a year, or about a year. So
that's awesome. Thank you. Paiute.
We're right in the process of, we think we've got a couple potential ambassadors. We're rehiring. And then we have just gone into the gardens and pulled the plastic off the gardens, and we're getting ready to start doing our community gardens. I'm also just getting started, but we're doing a Cooking with Chris Creates Better Health COVID video that we're going to be posting, and I'll let you know when that is finished and ready to go. But we're doing a Facebook page posting, and we'll probably do it once a week. And I've got about 4 of them pretty much edited, but not quite. And then we'll post them on Facebook. So that's us.
Hey, Heidi.
Sounds like Heidi's computer just died.
Oh. Well, Casey, we also missed Carbon County on the list. Somehow they got deleted. So if we want to go back to them before we go to social media, that would be good.
Great, sounds good. Yeah, Carbon, would you like to share?
Yes, so I don't know if you guys can see me. My phone's being kind of weird.
Yep. We got you.
Okay, so can you see me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, so like I was talking about at Region, we have this really awesome class that we've been doing on Facebook Live, and it's every single class gets more and more views. So I'm talking like 300 to 500 views between our site as well as our coalition that we're partnered with. So that has been super exciting, really, really fun. And I'm really excited because we finally get to do the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which was set up for last year, but it got canceled. So that's coming up really soon. I feel like there's so much, so it's hard to just pick 1 or 2 things. I'm going to be touching base with my circles group, and hopefully we're going to be doing something with them as well again.
Sounds good. Thanks, Heather. It looks like a nice day there.
It's beautiful here.
All right, on to social media. Candy.
All right, coming up this month on createbetterhealth.org, our first post will be about National Nutrition Month. Their theme this year is personalize your plate. So it's kind of just a little mini My Plate refresher. And they had some fun true and false questions on their website about some common nutrition myths. And so I've included a few of those on the blog posts that are kind of fun to read. And we'll do a cheeseburger soup recipe. And then coming in later in the month, we have cooking with wheat, food safety in relation to if the power goes out, what you can do with your food. Also top 10 ways to enjoy broccoli. And then a physical activity post with some kind of mini workout ideas, some ways you can be active when you don't have a lot of time. Also, thank you to everybody for continuing to send Ambassador in Action photos. If you've sent me some and haven't seen them posted, don't worry, they're coming. I'm usually scheduled 2 to 3 months in advance, so you might not see it when you very first send it, but I promise you're on the schedule. And then lastly, our newsletter will go out this week, so keep your eye on that.
Great, thanks, Candy. Amelia, is there anyone else at the bottom of the agenda? Candy's the last one I can see. Oh, yep.
Looks like the last one is Paola.
Yeah, Paola, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Hold on, sorry. Okay, so yeah, this one we're gonna talk about the nutrition month, also in the Spanish blog. So for this week, I'm gonna make a soup that is gonna be a broccoli cream soup. That's gonna be the recipe of the month. I mean, of the week. And I'm gonna try every week to do something related with my plate. And also, you know, share the app for our participants. So that's what's coming on the blog and the Spanish social media.
Great, thanks, Paola.
Sure.
All right, I think that is it for today. Are there any questions?
Sorry, I'm full of questions. Really quick, and you don't have to address this right now, but I did see the Create Better Health classes that I think Melanie and who else, you know, has been working on or created. Should we be advertising those at all?
No, not yet. That's a good question. So Becky's referring to our online Canvas course. So it's a course that participants can take for free. It has our entire Create Better Health curriculum. They can do it at their own pace. So we're just piloting it right now with a specific group of people to get feedback on the course. We hope to have it ready to launch in May or June of this year. But thank you for recognizing that. We're excited, and we will definitely keep you all posted. All right. If there aren't any other questions, just make sure to put your name in chat and have a great week.